If there's one thing I've learnt from my reactions to Blue Archive music so far, it's to expect the unexpected. From cutesy sounds to things which are a bit more epic. I'm Corey, or Everything Fantasy. I'm a video game composer. I have my keyboard in front of me to help analyze, and today we're analyzing Out of Control, a popular suggestion. Let's get straight into this. So, in terms of the key, it's that kind of sound. I get like battle preparation feeling from this so far. I think in one bar, we're probably going to go to some kind of drop. But one thing I would mention is we have this really low synth sound, which sounds something like this. That's what makes me, I feel like if you remove that from this, it would almost feel quite lighthearted in a sense. But with that presence, I kind of get an intensity to it, like something is coming kind of thing. I do feel like, I don't know, I get the sensation of battle preparation somehow. Like, not, this isn't the battle, but it's preparing for the battle kind of thing. Okay. We're kind of building up. We're building up even more. Still. Rising. Yeah, there we go. One thing I'd like to mention there actually is the phrase that we heard, the phrase that we heard, which was like, I like that every like 8 bars or so, just one more instrument would be added to do the same thing. Kind of like a, and then a kind of thing. Just kind of every so often stack upon itself to kind of become even bigger and stronger. That trill where it's like the, that kind of idea. It's in a lot of Blue Archive pieces I've noticed. I'm really curious to get context. I can't quite figure out what this is now at this point. Because I feel like the first half told me one thing, but the second half told me something slightly different. Because now I get the battle. Now I feel like we're fighting. Or something. I liked the kind of like the... I'm not going to use a pad for this. Something like a... Just occasionally those big stabs, which makes it feel like something quite intense is happening. It has, surely. One small detail. I love the fact that there was quite a lot of echo on that all of a sudden. It just came out of nowhere, actually. It was sort of like this. In fact, to exaggerate that a tiny bit more. Just really kind of subtly in the background. It was really cool. I love the percussion as well. We have an electronic drum kit sound, this kind of thing. Not that. That sound. put it up. I built up to the end. um, there are a couple of things I found really interesting about that. It almost feels like, and I've noticed this in a few Blue Archive pieces so far, that we have these stacked elements. So in this piece, for instance, it's like these individual phrases. Like we have the that drum machine phrase and the kind of like the oh, didn't expect that. But yeah, that phrase, and we have the and the that phrase, and they happen one after the other, and by the end they all come together. So whatever we're fighting against is happening at that point. It almost feels like. But I'd love to know a bit more about context. Out of Control is an interesting name for this piece. One thing I should check actually is the people that suggested Out of Control, to which there were a few, if they said anything specific about it. My website, everythingfantasy.net, by the way, is the way you can suggest things, and it's a little bit easier to see if you suggest it via that. Okay, so the person that suggested it said, since you started with Gregorius, a boss theme, I thought it would be good to listen to some other boss themes as well as going with one I think is pretty underrated. Okay, it's a boss theme. That's interesting. I wouldn't have got that from the beginning, but I did get that from the end. That's really interesting. I love to know. Obviously, I'm playing through the game, so I'll get there eventually. But I love to know a bit more about what I'm fighting against in particular, in non-spoilery terms as possible, if it's even possible. But as always, do suggest more. I've been really enjoying the music of Blue Archive and the composers who've done a fantastic job with the music. Until next time, thanks for watching and take care.